United Nations Secretary-General Ban Ki-moon has told the Security Council the withdrawal by 3 African countries from the ICC is sending the wrong message about their commitment to justice. Many African leaders have previously accused the court of unfairly targeting the continent. Currently, South Africa and Burundi have officially notified the UN of the plan, with Gambia as well on its way. Kenya, too, is in the final stages of withdrawing. The exits have sparked concerns that more countries in Africa will withdraw. Botswana, on the other hand, has been calling for reforms rather than a withdrawal.
In recent days, 3 African countries have expressed their intent to withdraw from the court. I regret these steps, which could send the wrong message on these countries' commitment to justice. These challenges are best addressed not by diminishing support for the court, but by strengthening it from within. Deterring future atrocities, delivering justice for victims, and defending the rules of war across the globe are far too important priorities to risk a retreat from the age of accountability that we have worked so hard to build and solidify.
Let's discuss this further with Dewa Mavinga, who's the head of Human Rights Watch for Southern Africa, and joins me now live from Johannesburg. Dewa, are Africans' concerns that the court is only targeting people from the continent valid?
Well, there is a lot of misinformation around, that the ICC has unfairly targeted African leaders, because a good number of cases on the African continent, including Uganda, the Central African Republic, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Mali, have been at the request of African governments themselves for the ICC to intervene. Having said that, we must acknowledge that the ICC exists in a world where the global power dynamics are starkly, there are serious disparities. That also includes, in terms of justice, and powerful nations, including some of those on the Security Council, have ways of staying away from global justice. But what is important is for the criticisms and concerns of African states to be addressed within the framework of the ICC without undermining the cause for global justice.
What is the fear here if African countries pull out of the ICC?
Well, if African countries pull out of the ICC, this would severely undermine the idea of global justice, and also would send a wrong message, as the UN Secretary General has said, about impunity, about the need for justice, and it would undermine the cause for victims the world over who have suffered in terms of atrocity crimes, war crimes, and crimes against humanity.
Is there a possibility of having a system in Africa that keeps in check leaders that are fanning chaos?
Sorry, come again?
I'm asking if there is a possibility of having a system here in the continent that keeps in check leaders that are fanning chaos.
Well, the idea of the ICC is that it is a court of last resort in terms of global justice, and therefore they should indeed be, domestic and regional courts that must be strong enough to deliver justice. But clearly, the challenge has been that of lack of such institutions domestically and regionally. But when we have those institutions on the African continent, we would still have the need to have the ICC, because it will still act as a court of last resort in terms of global justice, and therefore there is no justification whatsoever to remove it.
All right. Dewa Mavinga in Johannesburg, many thanks for those insights.